Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Jeffrey Epstein Show. I'm your host, Bobbycapucci, and this is Daily Drop number 54. So we're going to be following a couple of articles today, and the first one is from the Daily Mail about Ghislaine Maxwell. It's about her and her new boyfriend. Isn't that nice, huh? Just in time for the holidays, Miss Maxwell has a new boyfriend, and boy, isn't that nice. She's living that great life while these girls, well, their lives aren't so great. How can she be running the streets free, as we've asked time and time again, while these girls are suffering daily? It's mind-boggling to me. And in the second article, it's from the Telegraph, I believe it's called. Let's see. Hold on. Let me double check. I'll tell you the exact. Yeah, it's the Telegraph. So Virginia Roberts, in this article from the Telegraph, is accusing the police in England of a cover-up, of not covering the Prince Andrew case correctly because, well, he's a prince. So before we get into all of that, if you would like to contact me, you can do that at bobbycapucci@protonmail.com. That's bobbycapucci@protonmail.com. All right, so let's hop into our first article. This one is from the Daily Mail, and the headline is, Jeffrey Epstein's madam, Ghislaine Maxwell, is sex-obsessed and has found a new boyfriend, friend reveals. Jeffrey Epstein's madam, Ghislaine Maxwell, madam, huh? How about co-conspirator, fellow rapist, etc., has found a new boyfriend, a former friend revealed today. Laura Goldman, who knows Miss Maxwell's sister, Isabel, said the 57-year-old, who is accused of procuring underage girls for Epstein and helping him rape them, had a superpower when it came to attracting men. She also called the socialite, aka pedophile, sex-obsessed and claimed she regularly discussed oral techniques in public. Sounds like a very, very fantastic lady to hang out with, huh? Miss Goldman told Sun Online, I've heard that Ghislaine has a new boyfriend. One of her talents is finding a man to take care of her. She's good at that. It's like a superpower. Her superpower is she finds men to take care of her. But I get her appeal to guys. All she ever talked about was sex, sex, sex. She was with the right person with Jeffrey Epstein, right? Looks like birds of a feather. Look, it's cool, if you're a sexual person and, you're down with that kind of whatever. Who cares what you do in your personal life? But when you're doing this with people who are not consenting, well, that makes it from somebody who has, some proclivities to somebody who is an absolute and utter animal. Miss Maxwell was previously linked to tech CEO Scott Borgerson, 43, who abandoned his wife and young children to be with her, Daily Mail revealed. Scott left his wife for Ghislaine around 5 years ago. It's just egregious what happened to Rebecca, the source, who asked for anonymity, said in August. Rebecca and Scott seemed like a really nice couple, but as time went on, he was very preoccupied and would be on his cell phone a lot, presumably on business calls. He was away a lot for work. Epstein was found dead in his jail cell in August, where he was awaiting trial on sex trafficking charges. In court papers published this week, she revealed for the first time how she recruited women to massage Epstein at his home at least once a day. And we talked about that in that earlier morning update, and it was pretty telling. It's the first time I had ever saw that stuff or read any of that stuff, so it was pretty telling and pretty damning for Miss Maxwell. She contradicted herself several times in that statement. In court papers published this week, she revealed for the first time how she recruited women to massage Epstein at his home at least once a day. And I put air quotes around massage because we've already established what they mean by that. Miss Maxwell, who introduced Epstein to Prince Andrew, told how she managed Epstein's 6 houses around the world and hired lots of people, but denied procuring young girls for him to have sex with. Well, yeah, of course. She's not going to come out and admit it, right? Even though all the evidence is there for anybody who's willing to see. Miss Maxwell said she knew Andrew's sex accuser, Miss Roberts, was 17 when she started massaging Epstein, but said her account about abuse she claimed she suffered at the hands of the royal and his pedophile friend was a lie. Why are you recruiting a 17-year-old girl to be around this sick, disgusting old bastard? All right, plenty of top-of-the-line masseuses around. Right? Massage therapists. You have the money. You can have anyone in the industry. Why do you have to have a 17-year-old girl come over and touch you? In her video statement to a New York court in a libel action brought by Miss Roberts, Miss Maxwell outlined her role for the disgraced businessman. My job included hiring many people. There were 6 homes, she said. I hired assistants, architects, decorators, cooks, cleaners, gardeners, pool people, pilots. I hired all sorts of people. So a list of all of those people should be gathered, if she ever gets arrested, obviously, and they should all be brought in as witnesses as well. A very small part of my job was to find adult professional massage therapists for Jeffrey, she said. A small part, huh? I'm pretty sure that was your whole job. From time to time, I would visit professional spas. I would receive a massage, and if it was good, I would ask them if they did home visits. In her evidence, Miss Maxwell admitted knowing Miss Roberts was just 17 years old when she began giving massages to Epstein at his mansion in Palm Beach, Florida. Asked how often the teenager would massage Epstein, she said, "It's important to understand that I wasn't with Jeffrey all the time. In fact, I was only in the house less than half the time, so I cannot testify to when I wasn't there or how often she came. What I can say is that I barely would remember her if not for all of this rubbish. I probably wouldn't remember her at all, except that she came from time to time, but I don't recollect her coming as often as she portrayed herself." Miss Maxwell gave evidence at the defamation hearing with Miss Roberts in 2017. Miss Roberts was suing her over her claims that she was forced to have sex with Epstein and the Duke of York. How Ghislaine Maxwell stole 14 years younger millionaire tech CEO Scott Borgerson away from his wife and 2 kids, moved into his seaside mansion, and stayed under the radar until Jeffrey Epstein's arrest. Ghislaine Maxwell's one-time boyfriend abandoned his wife and young children for Jeffrey Epstein's suspected madam 5 years ago, DailyMail.com learned, exclusively in August. I mean, really, dude? Really? You're going to abandon your wife and your kids for somebody who's accused of child molestation, accused of procuring girls for a sick bastard like Jeffrey Epstein? This is who you're going to leave your children for? You know what? They're better off without you, pal. Scott left his wife for Ghislaine around 5 years ago. It's just egregious what's happened to Rebecca, the source who asked for anonymity told Daily Mail. When the marriage finally crumbled in 2014, divorce records paint a disturbing picture of Borgerson with accusations of him being physically violent, abusive, extremely controlling, and having an alcohol problem. Well, like I said, his wife and kids are probably way better off without this idiot around. I hope she took him to the cleaners with the settlement too, the divorce settlement. Borgerson, who married Rebecca in Palm Beach, Florida in May 2001, once allegedly threatened her, saying, "Don't make me beat you in front of the children." Wow, sounds like a hell of a guy, right? This is definitely a fantastic fella. Perhaps, you know what, maybe he's just, he belongs with these type of people anyway. So, he's right where he belongs. Borgerson's shipping technology firm, Cargometrics, was valued at more than $100 million in 2016, according to the Financial Times. Well, money can't buy you class, right, folks? And money can't buy you no sense. Borgerson is believed to have met Maxwell 5 years ago through speaking engagements connected to ocean preservation, a subject on which they share a passion. They both are pictured speaking at the Arctic Circle Assembly in Iceland in 2014. Maxwell shut down her ocean charity, the Terramar Project, a week after Epstein was arrested in July. Oh, I wonder why. Around 2015, Borgerson told Rebecca he was going to London on business and he would send videos. Rebecca watched a video of him, and although he said he was going to be in London, he was actually in Miami with Ghislaine, the source said. Rebecca was sitting there with her 2 young children watching this video of Scott and Ghislaine hugging and kissing. Rebecca was devastated. Things quickly fell apart after that. He moved out. As far as I understand, Rebecca had little financial support, and she had to get a job as a caregiver. So this dude's his company's worth $100 million. He cheats on his wife with a child molester, and then he leaves her financially in a bind when she has his 2 children. Boy, more and more evidence of this guy being a hell of a fellow, huh? The source added, "How could you throw all that away, those wonderful children and wife, for a woman who is 14 years older than him and allegedly has a role in this whole Epstein business?" The fallout was nasty, with the final straw in their union being when Borgerson attacked Rebecca on June 15, 2014, and was charged with assault and domestic battery according to court papers. Yep, this guy's a piece of definitely a piece of shit. Definitely definitely does not win father or husband of the year, right? What a sick bastard. Him and Ghislaine Maxwell, they definitely belong with each other. That said, if he was hiding her, what does he know? Does he need to be brought in as well and talked to? I think so. He was so close to Ghislaine Maxwell, and she was, a centerpiece of what was going on. She has to be talked to, obviously, and he needs to be brought in as well. All right, in our second article, it's from The Telegraph, and the headline is, Virginia Roberts accuses UK police of failing to investigate Prince Andrew allegations. Well, she's not wrong. We've been saying that for how long? This is a cover-up. This is not a conspiracy theory. This isn't some wild, crazy, nut job, thought-up idea. This is a cover-up of epic proportions that spans continents. Virginia Roberts has criticized Scotland Yard for failing to investigate her allegations that she was trafficked to the UK to sleep with the Duke of York. The 35-year-old who claims she was coerced into sleeping with the Duke 3 times when she was 17 alleged that the UK inquiry was abandoned because of corruption at the highest level. Well, isn't it England? You aren't even allowed to say nasty things online to people at this point, and the cops investigate that. So you're telling me they're not going to investigate this? Why? See, if it was just one time, the Palm Beach, the local Palm Beach state attorney's office ignored all of this, then we could be like, all right, that's just malfeasance. That's just a bad job by the state's the attorney general. But when you see it over and over and over, no matter what district this man conducted himself in, no matter where he committed his crimes, it gets covered up every single time, and people at the highest levels are involved in these cover-ups. Why? Just because he's a normal guy and people like him? Or could it be what Acosta said, and he belonged to intelligence? The Metropolitan Police have come under increasing pressure to explain why they did not carry out a full investigation into her claims, as well they should. Credible accusations must be investigated. She has alleged that in 2001 she slept with the Duke at a central London property belonging to his close friend Ghislaine Maxwell. A photograph appears to show him with his arm around the teenager while Miss Maxwell looked on in the background. After assessing the complaint made in 2015, police decided the matter did not warrant full investigation. I wonder why. Who made that decision? However, Miss Roberts wrote on Twitter, "At first, the Scotland Yard told me they were going to forensically examine GM's house in London. Next thing I hear, just like the FBI, they were not allowed to pursue the investigation." Okay, so that's her saying this, okay? So they were not allowed to pursue the investigation. Who, okay, listen to me clearly, who is telling them that they cannot pursue this investigation? That person needs to be brought in front of a judge as well. At the very least, subpoenaed. They're a witness in this case because they were stopping the case. They were stopping the case from going forward. They were protecting this man. Doesn't that make them at the very least, a conspirator to commit these crimes? She said she did not believe the truth would ever be heard, adding, "I say lock them all up and throw away the key. All we're going to hear are lies, lies, and oh, more lies. Keep putting the pressure on the authorities to hold each and every one who participated, enabled, or knew and did nothing accountable. No more charades or games. Time to start locking all the predators up. They put us in chains. Now it's their turn." She also responded to claims that the photograph of the Duke with his arm around her waist had been doctored, saying, It does have a timestamp on the back. There are so many ways I could poke holes in their doctored photo, but I don't need to. I know it's real. The FBI knows it's real. Journos who have seen it know it's real. Can't wait to hear their next excuse. Victims' rights campaigners have questioned why the matter was not pursued by police, especially given that in 2015, the Met adhered to national policy stipulating that victims must be believed, introduced in the wake of the Jimmy Savile scandal. Seville, whatever. The Duke vigorously denies having sex with Miss Roberts. Miss Roberts is expected to respond to his claims during a special episode of the BBC's Panorama that will be broadcast next Monday. All right, and speaking of that BBC broadcast, not only is it going to be broadcast next Monday, it was originally supposed to be for a half an hour. They've expanded it another half hour to make it a complete hour. So one can only wonder what sort of information they have in that video. And one can only wonder what other sort of bombshells Miss Roberts is going to drop, right? Look, we know that she says there were academics as well that she was trafficked to. Who are these people? All right, who are the people that she was trafficked to? Who are the academics? So we can get them on the radar so that they can have pressure put on them and they can be disgraced the same way that Prince Andrew was. All right, folks, if you're looking to get in contact with me, you can do that at Bobbycapucci at Proton Mail. That's BOBBYCAPUCCI at Proton Mail. And if you would like to support the show, you can find the GoFundMe link inside of the description box. I hope you guys have a great night tonight. I will be back tomorrow morning for a morning update and the usual daily drop. I hope that it's not too cold where everybody's at. It is actually pretty cold here in Las Vegas. It's a little early for it to be this cold, to be honest with you, but I'm enjoying every minute of it. It's my favorite kind of weather. Holiday season is in full effect, and the best part of all of it is that we have all of these sickos on the run. Until tomorrow, everybody, enjoy your night.